One, there is an old saying, one my grandmother used to repeat to me when I was a boy, and it has stayed with me all my life. Wyatt. She would say, a wise man keeps three things quiet: his money, his plans, and his kindness. On. And now that I am older myself, I understand just how much wisdom was tucked inside those few simple words. Everything that. Because when you reach your later years, when you are living on a pension you spent a lifetime building, the things you choose to keep private become just as important as the money itself. Yeah. Not out of secrecy, Link. Not out of mistrust, what? But out of wisdom and self-respect and a quiet kind of protection that too few people ever talk about. Lotion. Today, I want to share with you 7 money matters that you should keep close to your chest after the age of 65. One, some of these will surprise you. Some may even go against what you were taught about being open and honest. Cat. But please, stay with me all the way to the end, because number 5 is the one that quietly causes the most heartache in families. And the last one, number 7, is perhaps the greatest gift you can give yourself in old age. Haunt. So make yourself comfortable, pour a warm cup of tea, and let us talk gently, the way old friends do. Now, before we begin, let me be very clear about something, because it matters. Breathing out. Keeping these things private is not about lying, and it is not about pushing away the people you love. Let. Your family are your greatest treasure, and trust is the foundation of any good family. How that? But there is a difference, a very important difference, between honesty and oversharing. For that, you can love someone completely and still, wisely, keep certain things to yourself. Not. In fact, sometimes keeping quiet is the most loving thing you can do, both for them and for you. Flirt. So think of this not as building a wall, but as drawing a gentle boundary. A fence, as they say, that keeps the garden safe while still letting the sunshine in. Ling that. With that in mind, let us begin. Leading. Number 1, the exact amount of money you have. Spotlight. This is the first, and in many ways the most important. 1. There is a natural temptation, especially with family, to be open about your savings, your pension pot, the value of your home. Right. You might mention it in passing to reassure them, or simply because it comes up over Sunday lunch. Height. But here is a gentle truth I have learned. 1. The moment people know exactly how much you have, their behavior towards you can quietly begin to change. Late. Sometimes without them even realizing it. Won't it? A son who knows there is a comfortable sum sitting in your account may, without meaning any harm, begin to lean on you a little more. Warm. A relative you rarely see may suddenly take a warmer interest. Everything that. And should anyone with less honorable intentions ever learn the figure, you become a target. Rat. So keep the number to yourself. Lad. If your family asks, there is no shame in a warm and simple answer. Cute. You can smile and say, I've been careful, and I'll be just fine. Don't you worry about me. Anything that. That tells them everything they need to know that you are secure, without handing over a figure that can change how you are treated. Hi. Your exact wealth is nobody's business but your own, and perhaps that of a single trusted professional advisor. I once knew a gentleman, a retired school teacher, who made the honest mistake of mentioning at a family gathering that he had done rather well with his savings over the years. Heard. He said it with pride, and why not? He had earned it. But from that day forward, something changed. Like, the telephone calls from certain relatives became a little more frequent, saying that. The hints about needing a helping hand grew a little louder. Lament. And he confided to me some years later that he wished with all his heart he had simply kept quiet. Everything that. Not because his family were bad people, they were not, but because the knowledge itself had changed the way they saw him. He stopped being simply dad or granddad, and became, in some small and unspoken way, a resource. Lakesing. Do not let that happen to you. Let people value you for who you are, for your company and your wisdom and your love, and never for the figure in your bank account. Years. Number two, pension. The details of your will and your inheritance plans. Ah, this one is delicate, and I want you to hear me carefully. Let- It is a fine and responsible thing to have a will. That. Everyone over 65 should have one, properly written and safely kept. But the precise details of who gets what, that, is a matter best kept private while you are still living. I have seen it happen too many times. The moment the contents of a will become known within a family, something shifts. One, quiet resentments begin to grow. One child feels they deserve more. Another feels overlooked. Rethink. Relationships that took decades to build can crack over a conversation about money that has not even happened yet. And the saddest part is this. Lot. You end up spending your final precious years managing everyone's feelings about your death instead of simply enjoying your life. Fight it. So let your will be a private matter. Helm. Tell your family that you have made proper arrangements, that everything is in order, and that they need not worry. Lord, that reassurance is a kindness. Saying that the line-by-line details can wait until they are truly needed. On. Keep the peace while you are here to enjoy it. That. Number three, wanting. Any money you give or lend to one family member, leaving that. Now, generosity is a beautiful thing, and helping your loved ones is one of the great joys of having something to give. But when you do help one person, be very careful about who else knows. Their side. If you quietly help your daughter through a difficult month and your son finds out even years later, it can plant a seed of hurt that grows for a lifetime. Why her and not me? Did they love her more? Everything that. These are the wounds that money leaves in families, and they run deeper than most people ever admit. So, when you give quietly and let it be a private matter between you and the person you helped. Ask them gently to keep it between the two of you. Leave at. This is not deception, harmony. It is protecting the harmony of the whole family. A gift given in silence stays a gift. Believe it. A gift that everyone hears about too often becomes a comparison, and comparisons in families are poison. Give with a warm hand and a quiet voice. Let. Number four, want. Your banking details, your passwords, and your personal identification numbers. Honk. This one, I cannot stress enough, and it applies to everyone, no matter how much you trust the people around you. Want. Your bank card PIN, your online banking passwords, the answers to your security questions, these must remain yours and yours alone. I know. It can feel practical to share them. Receive. Perhaps a helpful relative offers to do your shopping or manage a payment for you, and it seems easier to just hand over the card and the number. But please, resist this, gently but firmly. Rat. It is not that you suspect anyone of wickedness. Point. It is that once those details are out of your hands, you lose control of your own security, and you place temptation and sometimes blame on the people you love. That. If you genuinely need help managing your finances, there are proper and safe ways to arrange it, such as a formal power of attorney set up with a solicitor or a second cardholder arranged officially through your bank. Or do it the right way. I keep your private numbers private. This is not distrust. That. This is simply good sense, and it protects everyone. Rating that. And let me say a gentle word here about the strangers who may come calling, for they are the real danger. Why? There are people in this world, cruel people, who make a living by telephoning the elderly, pretending to be from the bank or the tax office or even the police. Turning. They will sound official, urgent. They will sound urgent. Everything that. They will say, there is a problem with your account and that you must confirm your details or move your money right this very moment. Please hear me clearly. 1. Your bank will never ever ring you and ask for your full password or your PIN. No real official ever will. Everything that. So if anyone asks, no matter how convincing they sound, the answer is always the same. Like, you put the phone down. Right. You do not feel rude and you do not feel foolish. Shame. You simply hang up, and then, if you are worried, you ring your bank yourself, using the number printed on the back of your own card. Raise. That single habit, never giving your details to someone who contacted you, will protect you from the vast majority of the scams that target people our age. Number 5. Clause. The disagreements and money troubles between you and your spouse. That. This is the one that quietly causes the most heartache. So please listen closely. Word. Every couple, even the happiest, has moments of tension about money. Perhaps one of each of you is a saver and the other a spender. 1. Perhaps there was a decision years ago that still stings a little. Nice. These things are natural, and they are part of a long life shared together. Let. But here's is the wisdom. 1. These matters belong inside your marriage and nowhere else. Matt. When you share your financial disagreements with your children, or with friends, or with a neighbor over the fence, you do two things, both of them harmful. 10. First, you invite other people to take sides, which turns a small private matter into a family drama. Point. And second, you quietly damage the respect and dignity of your marriage in the eyes of others. And those impressions, once formed, are very hard to undo. Roasting. Your children do not need to carry the weight of your money worries with your spouse. It is not their burden, and it steals their peace. T. So keep those conversations behind your own front door. Work them out together, just the two of you, the way you always have. Time. What happens between husband and wife should stay between husband and wife. 1. Number 6. Everything that. Your health costs and the money you may need for care. Lynette. This is a difficult subject, and I approach it gently because none of us likes to think about it. Lad. But as we age, the possibility of needing care, whether help at home or a place in a care home, becomes a real one, and it can be expensive. Fact. Now, you may feel you should be completely open with your family about all of this, about what you can afford, about the money set aside. What? But I would urge a little caution. Lee. When the full picture of your care finances becomes widely known, it can, sadly, change how decisions get made. Gotcha. Choices that should be about your comfort and dignity can start to become quiet calculations about money and inheritance. Leaving that. That is a terrible position to put your family in, and a worse one to put yourself in. Squinted. So keep the details of your care planning between yourself, your spouse, and perhaps one trusted person, along with a professional advisor. Point. Make your wishes clearly known. Write them down properly, but keep the pounds and pence private. 1. Your care should be decided by what you need and what you want, never by who is counting the cost. Lent. Number 7. Everything that. And this final one is perhaps the greatest gift you can give yourself. Keep private the worries you cannot change. Let me explain what I mean. Because this is about your peace of mind more than your pocketbook. Thought. As we grow older, it is so easy to fall into the habit of speaking our every money worry out loud. What if the pension does not stretch? What if? What if prices keep rising? And what if something goes wrong next year? No one. And when we voice these fears again and again to everyone around us, two things happen. Everything that we do not solve a single thing, and we quietly hand our anxiety to the people we love so that now they lie awake worrying too. Everything that's there is great wisdom in learning to hold your worries quietly and to bring them out only when there is something real to be done and only to someone who can actually help. Everything that this is not about suffering in silence, and it is not about hiding real problems from those who should know. It is about not letting fear become the background music of your final years. Live. Deal with what can be dealt with calmly and privately. Pratt. And the rest, the endless what ifs, learn to set them down. A quiet mind is worth more than any amount in the bank, and you have earned the right to a peaceful one. Now, before we finish, let me sit with you a little longer, because I do not want you to take the wrong lesson from all of this. When I speak of keeping these things private, I am not asking you to become closed off or suspicious or cold toward the people you love. Quite the opposite. Hmm. Rut. I have known people who took privacy too far, who trusted no one, who locked everything away and everyone out, and they grew lonely and bitter in their final years, guarding money they never enjoyed. Faunets. That is not what I want for you. I. The goal here is not secrecy. The goal is dignity. Old. There is a beautiful balance to be found in old age between being open-hearted and being wise, between trusting others and protecting yourself. Liben. Share your love without limit. Ayat. Share your time, your stories, your laughter, your Sunday afternoons. Or thing that be as generous with your affection as your heart allows. But be thoughtful and quiet and careful with the details of your money. That. Because those two things, love freely given and money wisely guarded, are not opposites at all. Wants. Together, they are the foundation of a retirement that is both warm and secure. Lat. That is the balance a wise person learns to strike, and it is never too late to begin. Liet. And let me leave you with one last thought. A simple test you can use whenever you are unsure whether to share something about your money. 1. Before you speak, pause and ask yourself 3 quiet questions. Number 1. Does this person truly need to know this? Will telling them make my life or theirs genuinely better? That. And could this information ever be used, even without ill intent, in a way that harms me or divides my family? 5. If the honest answer gives you any pause at all, then it is perfectly all right and indeed wise to keep it to yourself with a warm smile and no guilt whatsoever. Reaping. You have spent a lifetime earning what you have, and you have earned, just as surely, the right to hold it with quiet dignity. Leading that et. Let me tell you a short story, because I think it will stay with you longer than any advice I could give. Latte. There were 2 neighbors in a quiet village, 2 women, both widowed, both in their 70s, living just a few doors apart. Lat. The first, let us call her Eleanor, was the warmest, most open woman you could ever hope to meet. 1. And that openness extended to her money. She told everyone everything. Exactly. She told her bridge club exactly what her late husband had left her. Everything that. She told her children the precise value of her cottage and which of them was named in her will, and for how much. She meant no harm by it, of course. Long. She simply believed that honesty meant holding nothing back. But little by little, that openness began to cost her dearly. Pain. Her children began to quarrel, quietly at first, then not so quietly, over an inheritance she had not yet left. 1. One grandchild she had helped generously became a source of bitterness for the others who felt overlooked. Lulling that. And a charming man she met at a social club. At a social club who somehow knew a great deal about her situation, nearly talked her into an investment that would have taken half of everything. Everything. In her final years, Eleanor, that kind and generous soul, was surrounded not by peace, but by tension and worry, all of it flowing from money that should have brought her comfort. Girlfriend. Her neighbor, Ruth, was different. Ruth was every bit as warm, every bit as loving, and just as generous with her time and her affection. Loans. But Ruth had learned the quiet art of discretion. Everything that. When people asked about her money, she would smile and say, "Oh, I manage very nicely, thank you." Farmers. When doing everything that. When she helped one of her children, she did it quietly and asked them to keep it between the two of them. That. Her will was written properly and fairly and kept with her solicitor, and she simply told her family that everything was arranged and they need not worry. And do you know what? Ling, Ruth's final years were peaceful. Wargreet. The notes. Her children remained close because there was nothing to quarrel over and nothing to compare. 1. No stranger ever saw an opportunity in her because none was ever put on display. Lee said. Ruth guarded her money quietly, and in doing so, she guarded the thing that mattered far more, the love and the unity of her family. Reply. Same warmth. Hunt. Same generosity. Wanting. Two completely different endings. Watch it. And the only difference between them was discretion. I share that story because I want you to see that keeping these 7 things private is not a cold or selfish act. Let. It is, in truth, one of the most loving things you can do for yourself and for everyone you hold dear. Despite it protects your children from quarrels they need never have. For list. It protects your marriage from the eyes and opinions of others. Lee. It protects your own peace of mind from 100 small anxieties. For everything that. And it protects the money you work so hard for, so that it protects the money you work so hard for, so that it can do what you always intended, which is to keep you safe and comfortable, and perhaps to bless the people you love, in the time and the manner of your own choosing. Now, you may be wondering, is there anyone I can speak to openly? Hint. And the answer is yes, of course. Here. Discretion does not mean carrying everything entirely alone. It means choosing carefully who holds your trust. Line. A good starting point is this. Time. Choose one trusted person, perhaps your spouse, perhaps your most level-headed child, or a dear lifelong friend, and a single qualified professional, such as a solicitor or a regulated financial advisor. Hi. That small, trusted circle can know what they genuinely need to know, so that if something should happen to you, your wishes can be carried out and nothing important is lost. Everything. That is not oversharing. Planning. That is sensible planning. Wisdom. The wisdom is simply in the size of the circle. Longer. Keep it small, keep it trusted, and keep everyone else, however dear, on the warm and loving outside of it. So there they are, the 7 money matters, worth keeping private after 65. 1. It. To the true size of your savings. The details of your will. Loy. The help you give one family member. All. Your banking numbers and passwords. Haunt. The money tensions with your spouse. Costs. Of your care. Lat. And the endless worries you cannot change. Lat. Guard these 7 quietly. And you protect not only your money, but something even more precious. The peace and unity of your family and the calm of your own heart. Everything that. If spoke to you today, please take a moment to subscribe, because every week I share these gentle, honest lessons for our later years. And it would mean the world to have you walking this road alongside us. And I would love to hear from you. So tell me down in the comments, which of these 7 did you find hardest to hear? Or which one do you most need to remember? I read every single one. Until next time. Take good care of yourself. Hold your worries lightly. Hold your loved ones close. And I will see you very soon in the next one.